I'm assuming I'm not going to care much about this direct. There's not usually things in them that I'm super interested in, and I really doubt we're going to be getting side order news. Wait, what? I wasn't the only one not expecting this first thing, nonetheless at all, right? Anyways, welcome to a review on the new Splatoon 3 side order trailer. There's a lot to get into, so let's begin. I want to start off talking about how beautiful the graphics on this trailer are. The simple grays and beige make every other color stand out more than they usually would with Splatoon's art style, and I love that. It really makes the game feel more fresh compared to the usual. Also, the reflection on Agent 8's tentacles, we'll get back to her later, look amazing, especially with the grays bouncing off her beige ink color. Also, the elevator scene, where you can clearly see how the main characters reflect off of all the walls and the floor. I'll get back to the environment in a bit when we theorize about what's currently going on in this weird place we find ourselves in. Now that we've got that out of the way, it's time to move on to the main octoling of the show herself, Agent 8. You know, the same one from... Agent 8 is back in action, this time at the strange corrupted Inkopolis Square, marking this as the first time we play as an agent from a previous game. Rest in peace, Agent 4, not dead but forgotten. Agent 8, who I will be calling 8, seems to be a lot more expressive this game, probably due to Splatoon becoming more cinematic recently. 8 seems to only have the customizable options from Splatoon 2 at this moment, but there's still a lot to be seen yet, so who knows, this could be wrong. I'm assuming you can only play as 8 in this DLC, so there will probably be no playable Inklings this time around. Rest in peace, Agent 4. Also, the tips of Agent 8's tentacles change color depending on what palette you have selected, which also brings me on to my next topic. Nailed it. This time around, it looks like the gameplay system is getting a massive overhaul. Now it seems that you have to collect different color chips to help upgrade Agent 8's abilities. Some of the few color chips we've seen include more splash damage, faster run speed, and... Drone... Splat Bomb? I don't know, but it sounds cool. It also looks like you may be able to upgrade some of these chips even more, making 8 even stronger. Some levels do seem to be harder with certain chips though, and it looks like you'll gain more rewards for using those harder chips. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments because I'm still not 100% sure of what I'm looking at. Let's move on to something else that I'm actually super excited for. In the original Splatoon, we fought the Octarians, which was awesome. We've never seen enemies like them before due to this being the first in the series, so it was very unique at the time. In Splatoon 2, we once again fought the Octarians. Okay, I guess, nothing too special was added this time around, but because this game felt more like a way to introduce more people to the series due to how unpopular the Wii U was, nothing too special had to be done. In the Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion DLC, we, once again, fight the Octarians, this time sanitized by Commander Tartar. Honestly though, it's not that bad because fighting them wasn't always the main focus, and Nintendo also gave a pretty good story reason as to why we were fighting them again. In Splatoon 3, we fight the Octarians once again! This time around, they have hair. Fine, okay, whatever. They were being controlled again, this time by Mr. Grizz, because why not? Side note, I actually really like Grizz as a villain. I know that's not the most popular opinion, but eh. And now, finally in side order, we have new enemies to go against. No more Octarians. This time around, we'll be fighting these weird fishbone creatures that seem to be surrounded in black goop. So that has me wondering two things. 1, are these things just 100% created by whoever the villain is going to be? Somehow by this weird black goop matter we keep seeing? Or 2, are these fish bones from fish that were killed either recently or long ago, now being controlled by this weird black goop? Sort of like the sanitized Octarians from Octo Expansion? Either way, I'm super excited for these new enemies, and it looks like there's going to be some different types of them. Some small, medium, and large ones. Maybe even more later on. The small ones seem to be floating from a stream of weird goo, as you can see here. Speaking of weird goo, that's exactly what these things come out of. They come out of a spherical blob of black goo, and inside the black goo sphere, there seems to be pieces of the skeletons of these fish. Side note, I guess they could be machines of some kind? I don't know, just a thought I had while writing the script. Also, when you deal damage to these new enemies, numbers pop up, probably showing how much damage you've dealt to them. Either that, or it shows points that you're getting from them. I I don't know. Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. One last thing I want to mention about these guys. They kinda remind me more of the Salmonids than the Octarians. Now, that doesn't mean that they are, related to the Salmonids. It just means that instead of attacking strategically like the Octarians did, they just seem to throw their mass amount of numbers at you instead. And I think that could honestly be very interesting for a story mode. Anyways, I think it's time I move on to the next topic. If I'm being 100% honest, I was never expecting Deadfish to actually make an appearance inside of any Splatoon story mode, but man, I am all for it. Plus, we actually get her real name. In the Direct, it is confirmed that Deadfish's real name is Oct. Fun fact, Oct actually means 8 in German, so that's pretty cool. I always love it when a specific number is repeated over and over again in these story modes. First it was Octo expansion with the number 8, and then Splatoon 3 with the number 3. I'm sure this DLC is probably not going to do the same, at least not based on the information we currently have, but it's just cool to think about. Now, if you don't remember, or never knew in the first place, Deadfish, was originally introduced in Splatoon 2's Octo expansion. Deadfish is a partially sanitized Octoling who conducted most of the music we hear during the levels we play in. At least, she conducted them in-universe. Yeah, the music that plays in the background is actually canonically playing in the background as we play the game. That is honestly a super creative idea, and I applaud Nintendo for coming up with it. I've never seen anything done like this in any other game before. Oh, right, anyways, looks like Oct is going to be one of the protagonists of this game, and will be helping us throughout it. I'm sure she'll stay more in the background like the Squid Sisters or Off the Hook. At this moment, there is no evidence she is going to be speaking to us during the levels like they did, but I'm sure she probably will, because it would be kind of strange if she didn't, because it seems like she's going to be a very important character to the story later on. Oh, right, during the trailer, she mentions how she and Marina go way back. Speaking of Marina, it has been hinted at since before Splatoon 3 even came out that Side Order was going to be about Pearl and Marina again. This time around, though, things are different. Marina is nowhere to be found, and it looks like it's going to be up to 8 and Pearl to figure out what happened to her. I'm assuming Marina isn't going to be the villain unless she's being, mind-controlled, because that'd be pretty out of character for her, and wouldn't make a lot of sense, even if she was mad that Order lost the Splatfest. I'll get back to more theories on what happened to Marina, and if she's going to be a villain later. For now, let's focus on Pearl. We will be joined by Pearl on this adventure, but not by her in person. Instead, it looks like we'll be joined by a drone either she or Sheldon could have created. It isn't stated as to why Pearl won't be joining us, but maybe it could be because we are in some sort of different mirror realm, or at least some sort of different plane of existence. Maybe this is some sort of story after the villain one. I don't know, just spitballing here, ignore me. It looks like Pearlbot will be sort of replacing Little Buddy this time around. So instead of throwing it around like we did with Little Buddy, it looks like we'll be able to glide around by hanging onto it. Now, I don't know if this is a thing we can just do whenever, or if it can only be used to slowly glide down from a tall height. Either way, it looks cool and that's good enough for me. Now it's time to look at what I've been the most excited for. The main story. As said, we play as Agent 8, and we are looking for Marina with Pearl, but it looks like this game will go a lot deeper than that. We still don't have much to go off of, but from what we can see, we can make some pretty interesting guesses. So I'll start off with some theories. As I stated a second ago, there's a theory that Marina is going to be the main villain of this story. After the Chaos vs. Order Splatfest, Order lost, and Marina for some reason or another wanted revenge because she lost. Yeah, this one's stupid, and it's completely out of character for her, so let's just move on to a different theory that is a little bit better. This one is similar to the previous theory, but it's better in some departments. After Order lost the Splatfest, Marina went out and may have tried to test with some new technology to try to bring order, or experiment with order to go along with chaos. And while doing so, something went wrong, and the experiment she created went rogue and is now going out of control. I like this theory more than the last one, but I feel like it's not the best. I'm sure Marina has something to do with the story, but I don't think it was caused by something that she did. So with that, Let's move on to the next theory. This theory suggests that Marina is currently being held hostage, or is being mind-controlled into helping with whoever the main villain actually is. I quite like this theory, and I think something of the sort is actually going to happen in the game. Though this theory technically counts as the basis of multiple other theories. The real question is, if Marina isn't in control, who is? Let's get to the theory that loads of us are thinking about. What if Commander Tartar somehow survived the events of Octo Expansion and is now trying to once again take over? Some evidence we have to back this up includes the fact that even though we did see Tartar get absolutely annihilated by the end of Octo Expansion, we never saw him get destroyed entirely like Mr. Grizz, who 100% should stay dead, just saying. And Octavio has survived a lot worse before, so who's to say Tartar didn't also survive? Also, if Tartar is reanimating corpses or something, it wouldn't be the first time something of the sort happened, considering all the sanitized Octarians we've seen. Another theory pointing to it being him is that, why out of all characters would Deadfish be helping us? I mean, you're telling me Deadfish got sanitized and now has been dragged into another completely separate main story plot? I don't know, seems unlikely to me. But out of all the things I've said, the most damning piece of evidence has to be what we see at the end of the trailer. The final thing we see is this huge machine sort of thing that seems to be covered in corrupted goo, and those faces on that goop look awfully familiar to our phone-headed antagonist. It's either that, or the Octo Oven has gone rogue and is taking over. Actually, though, imagine if that was the plot twist, oh my god, that would be amazing. What if Little Judd is in control this time around? I mean, after the events of Splatoon 3, we get hints that Little Judd is now in control of Grizzco, and he does have a vengeance against Judd himself. What if he's trying to gather power eggs to make this new machine to take over? I don't know if this is going to be the case or not. We don't get much more evidence to support it than that. Definitely looks like something Nintendo would bring out of left field though, so we'll just have to wait and see. This one's a little bit shorter, but if none of the previous theories sound that good to you, that's okay. This theory will probably be the one you believe then. This time around, what if we get an entirely new villain we've never seen before? That would definitely be unique and would catch a lot of people off guard. I am honestly fine with any of these theories besides the one where Marina has decided to turn evil for no reason. There's not much evidence to back it up, and it just feels like a large stretch for her character. The one I believe the most at this moment is that Tartar may be returning, or at least a fragment of him will be. I just hope that if they do use Tartar again, they won't ruin his character or something. Let's talk about Inkopolis Square real quick. So I'm assuming Inkopolis Square will be our sort of world hub, even though I don't think we'll be able to go into any of the shops. They look pretty covered up by the sand at this moment. So maybe later on we'll be able to go inside them. As some have already figured out from the first trailer, the square looks very reminiscent of dead coral reefs, which are an actual thing in real life after coral reefs, die. Also, I just want to mention this real quick. Throughout the trailer, whenever we are at the square, we see these weird electrical currents floating by. I don't know exactly what they are, but they kind of look like they're coming from the Spire of Order, so that's pretty neat. Final thing I want to go over, the music. The music is so good, man. Like, I know Splatoon music has never disappointed, but it definitely isn't going to disappoint this time either. What I noticed though is that unlike the Octo Expansion music, Side Order music is a lot more calm and peaceful, starting off slow and building up a bit before it dies back down. That's all I'm going to say on that matter though. I'm no musician, so I don't exactly know what I'm talking about. I'm sure others would be more qualified to do that instead. So the release date for Side Order is sometime next spring. A little later than I was expecting, but honestly, Nintendo, take as much time as you possibly need. I would definitely prefer Side Order to come out later than expected, but be 100% completed, rather than early and a broken, boring mess. From what we've seen at this point, it looks like Side Order is going to be great. I love all the visuals and how any color whatsoever automatically stands out from the environment. I love listening to the few tracks we've already been blessed with. I love how we finally have a new enemy type. This DLC really looks like it has everything needed to be as great, if not better, than Octo Expansion. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of this content, please subscribe. I put a lot of effort into making this review, and I want to know if you guys want to see more. Special thanks to my friend, the Rad Reviewer, link in the description, who helped voice, well, himself. I plan on doing some more Splatoon stuff in the future, so I hope you are all excited for that. Anyways, now that I'm finished with this video, I'm going to bed. See you guys next time.